Hi friends, today we will be studying about ethical issues in business research. To start with, ethics is made of some norms and standards, some actions which guide the moral choice about our behavior and our relationship with others. When we speak about ethics in research, the most important thing is that we should look into two things: that during the process of research, we are not doing any harm to anyone, and the result of the outcome of research should benefit the mankind, the organization who has fed the research, the consumers, and in no way the outcome of our research should harm anyone. When we tell the word harm anyone, we mean that we don't harm anyone physically, as well as we don't harm anyone emotionally, economically, or in any other way. During the process of research too, we should be careful that no one is feeling bad about the purpose for which the research is conducted. No way they are either injured physically or are injured emotionally. So these are the aspects of business research activities that we perform. Though there is no fixed set of rules, yes, the right and obligations of individuals are governed by existing societal norms. So it is the norms in that particular society which should not be violated in any way because of our research, either during the process of our research or after the outcome of the research is being declared. Business research shall benefit both the consumer and the sponsoring agencies. So when we do a particular research which is related to business, we are generally appointed by a particular organization for doing the research. Yes, research can be taken up independently as well by a researcher, but we should keep in mind two things: that it is neither affecting adversely the business house on which our research is focused, or the consumers who are actually trying to get something out of this particular organization. So both the parties' interests should be protected, and nothing should act adversely. Rather, the main impact of or main use of business research should be find out the gap where the particular producers are not providing the service or not providing the aspect in that particular way, and the consumers are also in need of getting that particular service from the parent organization from which they are and getting the service, or the product that they are purchasing should additionally have those features which the consumers are wanting. So these gaps which are there, those gaps should be covered so that a better service can be provided to the consumers, and for the producers also they get better value for their money and providing the best possible features in their products or in their services with the available price or with a reasonably increased price. So misuse of business research can annoy the customers. Two ethical issues of business research are intrusion on consumers' privacy and misuse of research findings. So these are two issues which are mostly of concern, rather than what goods they are doing to whom. Rather than that, when business research is actually performed, it is found that two issues are often becoming something of concern. One is that the privacy of the consumer is being compromised because of such type of research, and the other one is the misuse of the findings of this research. So these are two issues on which we will go to discuss as we proceed. So first, let us look at intrusions on consumer policies. Some customers feel positive and enjoy sharing their opinion. Some feel that it is just a way of building a huge database of personal information, and this is not wrong also. Many times a huge personal information is collected by the business houses, and which they actually later on use for different purposes. We will discuss those purposes in due course of time. Some such surveys ends up with an attempt to sell something. Often you will find, especially it happens with telemarketing or someone approaching you personally, that initially they start as if they are conducting a survey, or even they tell that they are conducting a survey. In the process of the survey, you actually speak about many things which you actually disclose about your likes and dislikes about the product or available products in the market. At the end, if you feel that this particular individual or who is performing the survey actually brings about a product or they start telling you about a product which has all those features which you have missed uh, in the product that you are using. So they come up with some features and then you understand that that is nothing but actually an attempt to sell something. That means this is nothing but an advertisement. But it comes to you as if it is in the form of a survey. So this is an unethical practice and it actually affects your privacy. A dislike towards telephonic service is they are too long personal or interruption at busy hours. This every one of us has experienced. That at busy hour, some time when you are in a meeting, or suddenly a call comes, you think that it is an unknown number, might be someone wants to contact you, might be some client, and you pick up the phone and then you find that there is an attempt by someone to sell something. So this is actually calling in odd hours. This is always or some busy hours which irritate you, and this is another type of obviously affecting your privacy. The privacy of customers and the privacy of information of opinion shared by them shall be considered seriously by the researcher. Any such information shall not be shared without the permission of the respondent. It happens that many a time information is collected from you, but that information is actually shared to some other organization or used for some other purposes. So this is unethical. This should not be done. Even in some surveys, it is so stringent that the information collected at the time in those surveys cannot be used by other organizations. For example, in our country, when census is conducted under the census regulation, it is stated that the information given in census cannot be challenged in a court and cannot be brought to consideration by other organizations like Income Tax Department, CBI, etc. So that you can fearlessly provide your data when the census is collected. So such should be the commitment, and it should be guided by proper rules that information collected for the purpose of advertisement or for the purpose of a business survey should not be used for some other purpose, and it should be very much restricted to the particular research only. That's why you find that many questionnaires that comes to you over the internet or over the ordinary post, has a disclaiming letter at the beginning expressing that information provided by you will be restricted only to that particular research and the personal information will not be used otherwise. Researchers have asked the respondent only about the information they need. Many a time, researcher has a tendency to collect some additional information because they fear that at a later time the respondent might not provide them with some additional information which they may require at some future stage. So they load the questionnaire with as many information they feel they should collect, with most of which might not be of any use in future. So this temptation should be restricted by the researcher. Next we go to misuse of research findings. Many survey results are used these days as claims during the advertisement and promotion. You must have seen that survey results. The advertisement starts with the research. That one research performed by a particular organization shows that this particular health drink performs much better than all other health drinks available in the market. These things are unfair. The research, whether that particular research, and many a times they don't actually express the organization which has done the research. And if the organization is also mentioned, the entire situation is not clear. That means there are different methodologies of research which takes to different types of results. And maybe that in that particular study, the comparison was only between a particular health drink and other natural drinks that are available, not with other health drinks, but with respect to another natural drink, say cow's milk. Cow's milk is compared with a particular health drink. And in that study, it might be found that a health drink does better than the amount of nutrition provided by cow's milk. But when they advertise it, they tell that in such and such research, it is found that the health drink, such and such health drink is better than other drinks, and it is 50% better than the other drinks. So why to take something which is 50% less, take 100%? So this way they do the advertisement. but this is outcome of the research, but everything is not clearly expressed in the advertisement. Some studies are biased and some seem to be designed to produce an intended effect. Okay, these some studies which they are referring might not be an unbiased studies. We may not know that what was the sample size, how many products were brought to comparison. All these things are not used. Only a part of that research, even if it is a unbiased research, only a part of the research is picked up and is put in the advertisement in such a way that this. Because when we speak about the words like research, sample, research methodology, scientific research, this type of terminology, it becomes gives more conviction to the listener than just telling that my grandma used to tell that this is better than that. So obviously, when all these things are told in such a convincing manner, people start believing in the advertisement. So this is an unethical practice which should not be. Some advertisers openly express their research result and express their success over their rivals. But manipulation in the sample selected in use of wrong questions often affect the conclusions. You must have seen that many claim that this particular wash that is cleans or kills 99.9% germs. Now this is very absurd. How did they get 99.9%? Is what is there in 0.01%, which could not be attained. And why all the germs die, but 0.01% germs don't die because of use of that particular say surface cleaner. So these are some absurd numbers. 99.9. Why is 99.9 all the time? Or some people again say 99.99. Why don't they have 99.78 or 99.8? Why always 99.99? This number is always very, I feel it is very suspicious number. That why so much? So with some such data, the claims are being made, and these are nothing but misuse of research findings. Let us now look at online privacy and security. In modern day, internet marketing practices has given rise to many legal and ethical issues. Marketers can easily track website visitors. Now you see what happens. Suppose you visit a website, say maybe it is a traveling website, and where you want to book a hotel in a particular place. So you start searching. Maybe suppose you want to book a hotel in Kochi, so you go to what are the hotel options in Kochi, what are the prices, and you after that you withdraw. Okay, fine. Close. And then whenever you open the internet, any website you visit, especially some searching engines, you will find that automatically some hotel rates in Kochi has gone down. Please book Kochi hotels in Kochi. Offering this website is offering 10% off, or the flight from one destination to Kochi as from your destination to Kochi has been is in the decreasing having a decreasing trend. Hurry up, buy your ticket now, etc. So these things are coming. So that means someone has tracked you, someone has tracked your presence, someone has tracked your search, and now they are being targeted advertisements. This is actually affecting your privacy. As a netizen, you have the right to make a search and make the search privately. But when the things comes up, popping up whenever you enter the net, is a very unethical practice which are used by marketers day in and day out. This may make the customer exposed to information abuse. It is unauthorized sharing of information and marketing of the product. That means they are sharing the information. This particular search engine is sharing the information with a travel agent, with airliners, with hotelers. So your information is already shared, and that's why they are only showing advertisements through this. And by sharing their information, definitely these search engines are earning some resources. Otherwise, what is the meaning of sharing the information? So they are sharing the information from you, taking your desire or taking your search. They are actually helping to create or make their own database. Sometimes marketers step over the line and violate the customer's right to privacy. So this is not done. This is more happening in case of such online service. So when you are online, you are never secure. Now there are some deceptive practices. Marketers in online surveys shall not pressurize the respondent to provide an answer unless it is a security measure. These deceptive practices actually are often imposed on you. For example, you must have seen that in many websites, when you fill up a particular form, or when you want to get a service from there, suppose it is telling that we are providing free marking of two word files, or we are performing free um, grammatical error correction of a document. Okay. Now, when you go, or we are providing free repairing of corrupt documents. Sometimes some documents get corrupt. Say PowerPoint file. Earlier it was working, now it is corrupt, it is not opening. So what to do? Then you find that online, is there any website to repair the corrupt files? You find that yes, there is a website. Now when you upload your file in the website, they ask you to provide some information like your name, your country, then your email ID, your phone number, etc. They provide. So you are asked to provide. And unless and until you do this, unless and until you provide the information, they won't allow you to download your repaired file. They tell you that your corrupt file is now repaired. Download it. Now when you go for download, they keep a form before you. But fill up the form and download your corrupt file. Now you fill up the form. Now this is actually forcefully collecting some information from you. This is a deceptive practice. There is another deceptive practice which is called a smuggling, the practice of selling under the disguise of a research activity. We discussed it earlier. Sometimes the respondent is compelled to register into a web portal in the name of research. Okay. Now this is another, some way they collect the information. They tell that, okay, we are doing a research on this topic. We request you to participate in this research topic. So when you participate, then they take a lot of your information. This information may be later on used for some other purpose like target marketing, where you find that your privacy is nicely compromised, very easily compromised, and they are doing all this nonsense, showing all this. The information is later on used for the promotion of different activities and products by the marketers. Then you will find that you provide the email, then you find that some spam emails are coming to you by the marketers telling about different products, blocking your inbox, and your inbox is getting exhausted. Your total memory space of the email service provider is getting exhausted soon because of these promotions. So these are the different activities that marketers generally do over the internet. Invasion of privacy. Companies have an unprecedented ability to collect, store, and match information related to customers that later on can infringe a person's right to privacy. Now you see, they collect the information about you, and suppose they match it with some other people and find those people who are having similar type of information, like maybe the age in the similar age group, then resident of the similar place, and then maybe they collect some hobbies, so having similar type of hobbies. So what that person is, the person your friend or a person quite similar to you in terms of demographic features, they have already tracked down that person. Companies are already eyeing this person. Marketers are actually looking at what things he searches in the net, which websites he visits commonly, and then they understand that you are also making some of the features of that gentleman. And so that starts marketing or throwing such things towards you. That these things you might like to join, you might play online bet 365 in the bet here. Because that person who is having similar features of you, he is also using some betting website. So they start promoting these things to you. So these are actually a way in which information is collected from you without your knowledge, or even you are providing it, they are collecting it in the disguise of something else, and then actually using it to influence your right to privacy. The company uses customers' information for target advertising, but this may influence personal freedom of the customer. Some countries have now framed laws on data privacy violations. Some countries are very strict in this. They are actually restricting companies or marketers for collecting the information from individuals unknowingly or in the disguised form, and then restricting the use of such information collected from using target marketing or target advertising and for other marketing purposes. So these are some of the, even in our country, actually you will find that you will nowadays not get calls from these business houses at night. At night you will see, even say by after 7 and all, you will not receive any call till next day till 8 or 9 in the morning. You will not receive any call from this market that Axis Bank is trying to sell some credit card, etc. This type of calls will not come at night, because India has gone into a fixed up a rule that such calls from business houses or from call centers at such hours should be stopped. So these restrictions could have been made more stringent. In some of the countries it is already there. It will become, I think, the more stringent in our country too. Now, sometimes there are breaches of confidentiality. Companies regularly share information about customers with their partners and affiliates. So you will find that many a time your telephone company actually sells the information to some other organizations, because they collect your, you will find some SMS coming from some business houses which you never had some transaction. They are getting, so they are getting it from, obviously they are getting it from the telephone companies or from some other companies with which you had some dealings earlier. So they share their customer base with some other companies who actually keep you sending SMS or even phone calls at odd hours of the day when you are at work, and this is because the confidentiality is not maintained by those companies with which you had some transaction. Some companies share information they have gathered on customers to outside companies. Customers shall be allowed to opt out if he or she does not want to be involved. This practice is available with some of the emails or some of the SMS that you receive. That they tell that, okay, if you don't want any SMS from us, or whenever you download some software, there is an option. Do you want our promotions or promotional activities to be emailed to you? There is an option yes, no. If you click on no, they will not send any promotional activities, but if you click on yes, whatever new products coming, whatever new changing version or any update available on the software, those will be mailed to you. So some companies ask for this very gently, so that your opinion is respected. But some of the companies, they don't ask. They keep on sending their updates and information about their products which you may not like. Some companies, they, even if you say that no, I don't want, even then they keep on sending. So what is the point of asking this question? The question, so customers shall be allowed to opt out if he or she does not want to get involved in any such promotional activities. Any unauthorized disclosure of customers' information is considered as unethical. So the customers' information can be disclosed only if it is ethical. Now let us look at some concluding remarks on ethical issues in business research. Research findings have a significant impact on public perception. We have seen it a number of times that when anything is said in the name of the research, it helps in building a public perception. And that's why many advertising agencies, they take shelter under some research and they promote their products taking the name of some research. There is an ethical obligation to conduct the research objectively, especially marketing research. So when you do a marketing research, as a researcher, you should be very objective and you should remain unbiased. The findings might be used, but shall be used for the development of a balanced or reality-based picture. So this should not use the research gap, the area in which research was not done, and then it should not be that particular area highlighted in such a way that the proper and true information which is research comes in the form of advertisement. That may be allowed, that if the information is as it is placed in the advertisement. But other than that, hiding something, concealing something, or displaying half the truth makes the thing very unethical, and many things which should not be done are expressed, or things are told in such a way that something between the lines seems obvious, but actually it is not so. Such a way of displaying research results is definitely very unethical. Research companies' own prejudice shall not be used for the purpose of advertising. So some prejudice that the companies have or the researchers have shall not be used for advertising. Some assumptions which might not be true in reality might not be placed in advertising or marketing of products. So these are actually in a nutshell about different ethical issues that one should follow while using the results of marketing research and while performing marketing research. The ethics in research is a large area, and it depends on the particular topic on which your research is concerned. Since this is related to marketing research, so we actually concentrate on some ethical issues in the presentation which was related to marketing research. So thanks for attending this and watching this video.